First of all, how does it feel being back again?
Oh, it's brilliant. I was just saying to one of the teachers on the way in there that every time I, drive down the driveway and walk in through the front doors, it actually feels like I've never left. It's weird, and I've left since 1997. So it wasn't today or yesterday, but it's just everything. It's the colours, it's the smells in the corridor, it's looking in and seeing, kids in the classrooms and everything. It's because I really enjoyed my time here.
Yeah.
I was here from 2nd year to 6th year. So I kind of came in as a new girl. I didn't kind of come in the 1st year batch. So, and from the minute I got into the school, I was really welcomed and made friends, and I loved my experience here, absolutely. That's
brilliant. And are there any particular memories that have really stuck with you since you left?
Any that I can share with you on camera? I have great memories. I was quite sporty when I was in school. I didn't arrive to school sporty, but I really got into sport when I was here. So I loved playing hockey. I loved playing basketball. And then one of my proudest memories is the PO started football here. So it was the first time that they'd actually done ladies football. I think I'm right in saying that anyway. And so I was captain of the team, and yeah, we were really successful. So I loved my position on the left wing. Still a proud moment.
It's brilliant. And has much changed since the time you were here?
There's a new 6th year block. There is a new theatre. I was really into speech and drama when I was here as well. Yeah. Which we used the old gym. There's a new gym now as well. Yeah. So the old gym was kind of used for everything from plays to roll calls to school hops. So it was kind of good and bad happened in that gym.
a bit of everything.
Bit of everything.
And what was your favourite subject when you were here?
I loved English. I loved geography. It wasn't that I liked science, but I really liked my teacher, PO. But probably English was my favourite subject. I had a teacher, Miss Hill, who was brilliant.
Yeah.
So.
And do you think that your love of English and geography here helped to influence your career in media and the trips at No Frontiers?
Yeah, I did, because when I went to UCD after school, I did English there as one of my subjects. So I loved that, and then obviously with geography, I managed to do 10 years on No Frontiers traveling the world. So absolutely, it definitely had an impact.
And how did you decide that presenting was definitely for you?
When I was in transition year here, I did a 2-week placement, one of which was in RTE and one which was in a small independent company called Coco Television. And when I did my leaving cert, which I actually did work quite hard for, I missed communications in DCU by 5 points, which was like the worst news ever. But so I went on to do UCD, but I decided in that time that television was what I wanted to do. So I spent 3.5 weeks precisely knocking on doors. I didn't even send letters. I just went around to all the independent production companies and just begged to work for free or make tea or coffee or do anything to try and get in. So they eventually just got sick of me, Coco Television, like just returning again and again. So I worked there when I wasn't, my hours in arts weren't a whole lot. I had, I think, 12 hours a week. So any free time I had, I was kind of in just doing general dog's body stuff. And that's how it all started, which was great.
That's brilliant. And what have been kind of your highlights of your career so far?
The highlights, definitely the No Frontiers was a real highlight for me, because it was almost, as well as being a career, I started when I was 21, and it was like a bookend because I finished when I was 31. So it was like 10 years of where I sort of grew and found out a lot about myself, and I suppose became a woman, and learned a lot about myself and learned a lot about the world. And it was just a real privilege, to get to these places and experience different cultures and learn about so many different ways of life, And I think for me that time will always be precious, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and it became such a big part of Irish television as well, that everyone remembers sitting down and watching you, wherever you were. Everyone remembers sitting down and kind of going, it's nice she gets paid to go on holidays.
Yeah. Well, as my nana said, she never travelled at all, but she was able to like see the world, sitting in the armchair. But yeah, it was great, and I think during the Celtic Tiger, there was a lot of people taking 2-3 holidays, and at that time it wasn't. A travel show wasn't really seen as a luxury. It was just kind of like the norm. Everybody wanted to tune in to see where to go. But I suppose the type of travel that I loved in it was the backpacking and the independent travels. So anytime there was an offer of a 5-star hotel or a jungle in Papua New Guinea, I knew that you know, that was the sort of travel that I liked doing. So for me to be able to kind of be a part of that, and when students and everybody was sort of, you know, the backpacking craze really came in, you know, to be a part of that was quite special.
Yeah. And are you still in contact with many of your friends from KH?
Yeah, I was actually at Beyonce with them last night. Ruth and Antonia. Yeah, Mary Kay is living with me at the moment, so I would have a lot of good friends from here. Most of my friends are actually my school friends still.
Yeah, yeah. And do you have many friends that, you know, they've been helpful kind of connections to you during the years, and, you know, from KH?
In terms of television, I would say probably not. You know, a lot of that, you know, happened, you know, through my own.
You were the connection.
Yeah, yeah. But no, I mean, definitely it's just been great that so many people that I'm still in touch with have made a good success of their own careers as well, you know. So, you know, to have a very close circle of friends that are still my school friends who've gone on to achieve really great things as well is nice to see.
Yeah. And do you have any advice for, you know, some KH students that might be interested in kind of taking your career path or following your footsteps?
Yeah, it's interesting because right now RTE is probably going through a difficult time like so many other companies. And I suppose it's to try and be a little resourceful and a little bit creative and persistent as to how you get in. You know, it's for example, I knew it was very difficult to get into RTE, so the small independent production companies where you are working with a smaller group of people, and therefore you're noticed as opposed to being in a big organisation. So be persistent, and I would say offer up your time if you have time and you want to learn. I mean, I did a lot of voluntary work and put in a lot of hours, and for me that was kind of the way to get the first step on the ladder. So that would be my advice, I suppose.